I would definitely have to say that one of the most mysterious characters in the Star Wars sequel trilogy has got to be Supreme Leader Snoke. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really great about Episode 9 as of right now is, of course, what it has going for itself is that it's actually going to connect to not just the prequels and the originals and the animated TV series out there, but also it will be connecting to different books, novels, video games, etc. in order to really connect to all different Star Wars fans around the world and gravitate towards a lot of fans on different mediums of the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, when it comes to the character of Supreme Leader Snoke, I don't know if you guys actually heard about this. A couple of months ago, there were numerous script rewrites and adjustments for this movie while they were shooting over in the Scottish Highlands and over in Pinewood and Cardington. So within principal photography, there were script rewrites and adjustments for the first and second acts of this film. And part of those adjustments had all to do with Snoke's identity in this movie. And this also lines directly up with what we heard about 3 months ago, that Disney and Lucasfilm were toying around with the idea of making him Darth Plagueis in Episode 9. Now, the biggest thing here is that yes, we do know that Snoke's identity will be explored to a certain level in Episode 9. However, it seems as though that there's going to be a lot of identity changes to the character of Supreme Leader Snoke in Episode 9. So either he's going to be Darth Plagueis, or somebody completely different or new, or maybe somebody that we have seen in the comics. If you guys have been reading the comics out there, there are a lot of, potential characters that could end up being Supreme Leader Snoke. And when we examine all the different lore that we actually know about, there's a lot to really cherry pick from, and in order to really kind of incorporate that into a movie, it's best to do this for, what's pretty much the most recognizable piece by a lot of fans out there. So we do know that Snoke's identity will be a part of Episode 9 to a certain extent. I'm not quite sure how significant it will be, but part of the script rewrites and adjustments had all to do with Snoke's identity changes here and there by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. Now, that's one thing that a lot of people were asking themselves in The Force Awakens, right? Who is Snoke? Exactly where did he come from? Who was he originally before he got the injuries? We've actually heard about some hints here and there, but that's just about it in the Last Jedi novelization. We really know little to nothing about this character until we get that Age of Resistance comic dropping, I believe it's November of 2019 next year. Ironically, just weeks before the release of Episode 9. So in that comic, we're actually going to learn a lot of revelations about the character, more about his identity, and it's said that that comic may very well tie into Star Wars Episode 9 and explain, what's been done in the rewrites and adjustments for this movie and the identity changes for the character of Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, the thing here is this: we do know that Andy Serkis, Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and crew, they know the whole entire backstory of Snoke. They kept it a secret for this specific reason in order for them to tell it in a future film. They never said what that future film was going to be, and it seems as so now that it's going to be Star Wars Episode 9. So the thing that really does fascinate me so much about Snoke is because of how mysterious of a character he really is, and how he was able to essentially lure a character like Ben Solo to convert to Kylo Ren. In his, I would say, late teens, was it? Something around those lines? We're not quite sure of the exact age when Kylo turned. But with that being said, guys, it's a very interesting piece for sure, because he actually turned Kylo to the dark side in a different way than Palpatine turned Anakin to the dark side. So you can see how Palpatine kind of manipulated Anakin, and Snoke manipulated Ben Solo because Ben Solo was neglected by his parents, and he had a lot of anger stored within him. He had a lot of Vader within himself as well. He had that mighty Skywalker blood. So when we look at Snoke as a character, we do know that he has a lot of potential of storytelling when it comes to his past and his real intentions with, of course, Kylo Ren and the First Order and everything like that. And I think that's one other aspect of the sequel trilogy that a lot of people do want to learn more about, is exactly how did the First Order arise with Supreme Leader Snoke? How did Snoke become the leader, right? We all want to know this because of the mystery. You know, sure, one could say, well, we didn't know any about this with Palpatine in the original trilogy. That's true. But mind you, at the time, alright, if you look at Palpatine and how he was in the original trilogy, at the time, those were the only Star Wars movies, you know. Later on, we got the prequels. They explored that. That was a whole thing of exploring one of the main villains' past. So I think that's why a lot of people expected that to be explored, because it was done in the prequels. So if we look at Supreme Leader Snoke, guys, it's very, very, you know, exciting to know that they will be exploring his identity to a certain level in Episode 9. We're just not quite sure how significant it will be or how much of an impact it will have on the plot of the film. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.